Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to a new book, a new Let's Read segment, and that is 12 Laws of Karma, written by Manhardeep Singh. I wanted to read this book because we did talk a lot about the law of reaping and sowing in the book that we just finished, and I do think that a lot of people really don't understand what karma really is, just how much it affects our lives, and that it doesn't always have to be what we call instant karma. We can have old karmas, we can have karma find us, I guess for a lack of better terms, days later, months later, years later, or even lifetimes later, and there are different kinds. So let's go ahead, and we're just, in this video, I'm going to read the introduction, and we'll kind of see where we go there time-wise. Let's learn about karma. I myself did not understand fully what karma was. I've read a lot of books that touch on karma on this channel and also just personally in the past, but until I learned further about it in the Christ letters, I can honestly say I did not realize just how much karma affects every aspect of my life, every minute of the day, and that it doesn't only affect me, it affects my loved ones, and it affects everybody in my orbit and even outside of my orbit. Introduction. In Sanskrit, karma literally means action. According to experts, there are often misunderstandings about what karma really is and how it applies to our lives. This book will help shed light on what karma is, the philosophy behind it, and its basic principles, known as the 12 Laws of Karma. Most people have a basic concept of karma. For example, you may have heard the term or the phrase, what goes around comes around. Maybe you have the intuition that we get what we deserve in life. But what are the laws of karma? And what should you do to make sure you don't attract bad karma? If you look at karma as what goes around comes around, you are missing out. In fact, the 12 laws of karma are the guidelines for a better life. Once you know how each of the 12 laws of karma work, you can learn to live in a way that creates good karma in all areas of your life. It can help you in everything from your relationship to your career, your financial situation, and your self-confidence. Whether you want to generate more positive energy or get rid of bad karma or curses, this book gives you a better sense of how to improve your karmic position. What exactly is karma? The definition of karma may change depending on who you ask. Some stick to the traditional meaning of the Eastern religions, while others interpret from a more Western perspective of good and bad. As a result, it can lead to different views on how karma applies to life. For example, the Berkeley Center for Religion, Peace, and World Affairs at Georgetown University says that karma is the Hindu view of causality in which good thoughts, actions, and words can produce beneficial effects, while bad thoughts, actions, and words can lead to harmful effects. However, many experts like to see karma as more than just good or bad. According to Dr. Jennifer Rhodes, a licensed psychologist, karmas are the situations or interactions that help us achieve our ultimate purpose. We get distracted and miss messages which make us believe we have a lot of bad karma. But those situations are simply signs for us to course correct and move forward toward our higher purpose. The journey of life is not about perfection, but about destroying what we are not and becoming what we really are. Tejal Patel, a specialist in meditation and mindfulness, sees karma as a cycle of cause and effect related to action rather than the result. Karma is a philosophy of how to live our lives so we can truly become the best version of ourselves and live the most fulfilling life we desire. And since it does not set the future in stone, says Patel, we can change our life through our current decisions, thoughts, and actions. Karma is a law of nature. Karma is the currency of your life. With karmic actions, you can buy and create all of your life experiences, good and bad, pleasant and unpleasant. Karma is the law of cause and effect, according to which every person determines his own fate with his own thoughts, words, and actions. Basically, if you push something, it moves. Now expand this idea and realize that we make the entire universe up with movements and reactions to movements. Your body gets created by the lovemaking movements of your parents, then by the movement of the sperm into the egg, the reproduction of the zygote, the formation of organs, and the absorption of nutrients. Our body keeps itself alive through movements. Visible movements, invisible movements, and millions of tiny electrochemical movements. The entire universe comprises spins from galaxies to societies to electrons that revolve around the nucleus of an atom. Movement is the essence and quality of all creation. So what keeps everything going? You can say that the universe works on the fuel of karma. As Newton's law of action says, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This is how karma works. A good way to understand the complexities of karmic law is to observe how karmas manifest in and around you. Life is a living textbook on the laws of karma. You can observe how life so often creates exactly what you want or fear most. Notice how the most vehement persecutors in any situation inevitably seem to become the persecuted. See how your own good deeds can rejoice your heart and create an opening for more goodness to come into your life. Even movie scripts and novels reflect an intuitive understanding of these laws, as good defeats evil almost always, even if only moments before the final credits roll. You already know the laws of karma. Basically, karma is a law of the universe like any other, but society has not understood it fully yet. So sometimes it's used as a joke, like in, "Ha ha, that must have been your karma." This line would be like making a joke after someone falls, saying, "Ha ha, that must have been gravity." Humans have been using the laws of karma since the beginning, when an unknown caveman first discovered that putting his hand in the fire created pain, and did not do so again. Karma is like the wind. By visualizing the idea of karma, you can imagine a large and deep lake, the lake of your soul. When the lake is still, you can see its depth full of life. But on a windy day with leaves and twigs hitting the surface of the water, it gets covered in ripples where the view of its depth becomes obscured. In this metaphor, you can find examples of two types of karma. We have fresh karmas, which is the wind is analogous to the current winds of karma that are recently being whipped up by your own endless thoughts, words, and actions. Then we have old karmas. Twigs and leaves on the surface of the water would be analogous to old solidified karmas that are not so easily discarded, such as karmas related to your family or cultural traditions. You are more or less stuck with these karmas. Now here's the deal. You may not have much control over all those leaves and old karmas, but you have the option to choose how the winds of karmas that you are creating right now will blow. Even if you have a lot of old karmic debris in the lake of your soul, if the current winds remain calm, the karmic disorder moves towards the perimeter of the lake, leaving the depths visible through the clear surface of the lake. However, if you generate a lot of violent winds by performing all kinds of noisy, ego-based actions, you will have a messy and obstructive surface. With many karmic winds, even if you only have a small amount of old debris from past actions, the surface of your lake will still get obscured by whatever is there, and also by the ripples created in the lake directly by fresh karmic winds. The winds of new karmas become still when you enter a state of inner peace. You can find inner peace by allowing your thoughts and actions to flow through you, unsullied by selfish desires or ego-based motives. When your surface waters are clear, you see more clearly what is really at the core of your being, the glorious light of your spiritual soul. Now, as a man is like this or like that, according as he acts and according as he behaves, so will he be. A man of good acts will become good, a man of bad acts, bad. He becomes pure by pure deeds, bad by bad deeds. And here they say that a person consists of desires, and as is his desire, so is his will. And as is his will, so is his deed. And whatever deed he does, that he will reap. And this is a quote from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I'm certain I got that first name incorrect, and I apologize for that. Karma, therefore, describes the concept of getting back from the universe whatever you offer, good or bad. By definition, it is fundamental for Hinduism and Buddhism to determine the next existence of a person based on the ethical network of the current one. But no matter what belief system you follow or not, the concept of karma can influence your life. That's because there are 12 laws of karma constantly in play, whether you realize it or not. When you live by the 12 laws of karma, you create good karma in your life, theoretically increasing the likelihood of good things to happen. Everything we do creates corresponding energy that comes back to us in one form or another. Difficult karmic experiences catalyze learning and growth, and can then lead to good karma if we work towards positive change. It would not be wrong to say that everything we do adds to our karma, whether it's how we treat others, how we see our own role in the world, the way we use resources, how we develop our characters. There are many perspectives on this matter. First, I would like to explain to you what karma is not. Often misrepresented in the media, karma has nothing to do with fate, universal justice, or punishment. Above all, I believe it is misleading to say that karma has something to do with destiny, because it is the opposite. People who believe in destiny think that they have a fixed future, which is inevitable, while people who believe in karma have their own future in their own hands and are fully responsible for their actions. Therefore, karma is, depending on how you interpret it, a concept that is based on the principle of cause and effect and has 12 rules. Simply put, every action, whether done by yourself or by others around you, has consequences. These can revert to you directly or indirectly. Karma is more like a set of ethical values, indicative and works as a guide to morality and ethics. Viewing and using karma in this context can have a positive impact on your life and personal development. What is bad karma? Bad karma is a common term that is well established in everyday language. So, colloquial is what they call it. Colloquially, that's a hard word to say. Colloquially. And that just means it's used in ordinary or familiar conversation. So in everyday conversation, bad karma means that when you do something wrong with someone or to someone, something bad happens to you. For example, you laughed because your friend's phone fell out of his hand, but then you dropped your phone yourself. In the spiritual sense, karma is the energy that comes from your thoughts and actions, which can be bad or good. Simply put, if your mind and behavior are bad, you will produce bad karma. And if your behavior is good, you will produce good karma. However, if you consider karma as a set of rules, there is no bad karma in this colloquialism. We often confuse colloquial karma with the first karmic law, the law of cause and effect. And so we confuse everyday karma, the way that we use it in conversation and talk about karma. That's what I think the author is saying. The colloquial term has established itself because people have always wanted justice, especially when they feel unfairly treated. However, the danger of such a way of thinking is a lack of objectivity. People are subjective creatures and they quickly become emotional. They often present karma as the judge that restores balance in life. If we look back at our example with dropping the phone, the friend that you laughed at will cast your bad karma as judge and think your phone fell out of your hand because you laughed at him before. In his opinion, karma has restored balance by punishing you for laughing at him. In the same context, difficult karmic experiences catalyze learning and growth. Later, this can lead to good karma if we work towards positive change. What are the 12 laws of karma? Everything is energy, including your thoughts and emotions, which are energy in motion. So everything you do creates corresponding energy that comes back to you in some form. In simpler words, everything you do generates a positive or negative consequence, or desirable, undesirable. I like those words better than bad or good. Because what's bad or good to one person may not be bad or good to another. It is really subjective, but I will stick with the author's bad or good example that he's using. You can think of the laws of karma as guidelines to follow as you go about your daily life. The 12 laws of karma can help you understand how karma really works and how to create good karma in your life. As we explore the 12 different laws of karma, think about how you have previously seen these laws come into play in your own life. Also, consider how you can use your knowledge of these laws to create good karma, to support your goals and your dreams. The key to moving beyond seemingly bad karma is to live in a way that shows you are learning from the mistakes of the past. As already mentioned, karma has 12 laws. These are not laws in the genuine sense of the word, but guidelines, and therefore should be taken as that, so guidelines, but he refers to them as laws. Here is a list of the 12 laws of karma. So we're going to go over the list, and then each chapter is going to focus on the said law or guideline. So number 1 is the law of cause and effect. 2 is the law of creation. 3 is the law of humility. 4 is the law of growth. 5 is the law of responsibility. 6, the law of connection. 7, the law of focus. 8, the law of giving and hospitality. 9, the law of here and now. 10, the law of change. 11, the law of patience and reward. 12, the law of significance and inspiration. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop right there. And in the next video, we will definitely read the first chapter, the law of cause and effect. And depending on how, we're going to be reading this book in just a few videos. Each chapter is just a few pages long from what I can tell so far. So in the next video, we will read the first law, the law of cause and effect, and the second law, the law of creation. And we'll just kind of go from there and see where we are time-wise with each one. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I love you all very much. And until I see you again, as I always say, but I mean it, and that's why I always say it, I love you very much. And please take care of yourself. Please take care of those around you. And I will see you for chapters 1 and 2 or laws 1 and 2 in our next video. Bye-bye until next time.